What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm doing a recap of last weekend's 2024 Round 4 GNCC Camp Coker in Society Hill, South Carolina. It's not that far from me. I'm located in North Carolina, so it's about 2 hours and 20-minute drive from me south. And yeah, coming into the race, I'm feeling good. I'm going into starting race season, and I'm going into this with not really any expectations other than just enjoying myself and seeing if I can last the 2 hours. I've got some races coming up, so this is going to be a good testament to my endurance for sure. So decided to bring the 2013 Kawasaki KX250F with me. That bike is set up for racing. I've been on that bike for a long time, so it's just a good bike. Got some good experiences with it. The suspension setup for me, kind of the way I like it. It's a little bit between MX and off-road, so it's soft, but it's also, I can race at MX. It is kickstart, so as you can see in the video, I do have trouble kicking it. Sometimes it kicks first start, and sometimes it just doesn't. So obviously, I just didn't want to do it this weekend, but that's all right. Another thing that was funny is it decided it didn't want to be kick-started in gear. Usually this is not an issue, but for some reason, this past weekend it was, so no big deal. Just decided to screw it. It's a 2-hour race. I don't really need that great of a start. It's a race against the clock, however many laps you can do and how fast you can do those laps in the time frame. So it's not like an MX race where it's position based, it's all time based, so not a big deal. So in the video you can see it takes 2 cranks and then I put it in gear, pretty much go from last to wherever I end up. I think I end up at about 14th position by the end of the first lap out of 21 riders. So I think I made up 7 positions in the first lap. So I'm pretty happy about that. And later on in the race, you'll see that I have it doesn't look that bad of a crash, but for me, I did sort of hit my head into a tree. And I'll explain a little bit about what happened with that later on in the video, but just kind of settling in, getting used to the track, not trying to go all out right in the beginning. I don't usually race GNCC, so this is the first and last GNCC of the year for me, just because they're not that close to me, and I typically race MX and Sprint Enduros, so I've got plenty of those races coming up as well. But yeah, I definitely, if you are interested in GNCC, I would definitely check out an event, especially if it's close to you. They are tough. I will say that they're one of the tougher events. The tracks in general aren't terribly tough. They're not as beat up, I would say, as Sprint Enduros, because they're much bigger laps. You're riding a much, like 10-mile laps. So it's not like a Sprint Enduro where it's like several laps of the same small loop, and so the tracks get really rutted really bad. And then MX, obviously, there's jumps and all that, but I would say in terms of roughness and how difficult tracks can be, Sprint Enduro is probably the worst, and then MX, and then GNCC. But GNCC is not without its carnage, that's for sure. You're definitely dealing with, depending on what your speed is, lapped riders or being lapped. I experienced both, but as you get into lap 2 and lap 3 and lap 4, depending on how good you are, it gets worse each time. I mean, as you get more tired, you find yourself either catching up to people or getting caught up to, and there's huge traffic jams. So, and then there's just a whole bunch of factors, but I felt pretty good. I had a really good time other than the crash, which wasn't really a crash, but I'll explain later. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch up to you in a bit. These first couple miles, I just sort of get into a rhythm, get into a pace. I'm not really trying to catch anybody in my class. I'm just trying to ride well and get used to the course and to the dirt. I do obviously start getting a little impatient, and that's when the yelling starts. I try not to yell, but I'm very competitive, and I don't want to. I don't want to be held up for too long, so yeah, I do yell, but I get yelled at. It's pretty common in GNCC, so if you're new to that, don't worry about it. No one's trying to be overly aggressive, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to get a good position and make up time. And so yeah, yelling's going to happen. Either you're going to yell at somebody or they're going to yell at you, and that's just the way it is. A lot of revving, a lot of yelling. But other than that, the only thing I will say is I only have about a lap and a quarter worth of recording, just because I film in 4K. So yeah, I didn't film the whole 2 hours, which I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I could sit and watch 2 hours worth of racing anyway. So but anyways, yeah, I do get the crash in there. That is like at the beginning of lap 2, and then I'll explain what happens there. But yeah, it's pretty good long recording. It'll be entertaining enough, and you'll get to see what one lap at Camp Coker looks like if you're interested for next year. Maybe you raced it and you just didn't get to film it. So this class is Vet C 30 plus. Yeah, I'm just an average Joe. I race on the weekends, ride on the weekends, and I've been riding a long time, but I'm no pro. I'm not gonna be setting the world on fire with any kind of crazy clips, but hopefully y'all enjoy the video. Hopefully you find it entertaining or informational if need be, but hope you enjoy, and I'll touch back in.
Got
crash is getting ready to come up. In lap 1, I knew I was doing well based on my time, based off what my stopwatch said and what it said when I crossed the line, what my total time was. So I knew that in order to make up more positions, I needed to give it gas wherever I could. Basically be on the gas as soon as possible. And as you can see right here, I see an opening to give it gas, and I give it some gas. I completely lose traction, and I start spinning. I'm hitting the brakes, but it's just not enough, and I go straight into the tree. The actual wreck wasn't that bad, but I did sort of hit my head at the top and kind of compress my neck a little bit. So, and then I hurt my hand a bit. Kind of realized after the race that I just broke skin on a few fingers and I didn't actually bruise my fingers or hurt my hand. So, but at the time it hurt a little bit. But yeah, it slowed me down after that because I started checking my neck, make sure that I could continue going. I didn't want to quit because this is GNCC. If something's not broken or I'm completely out of it, I want to continue racing and finish. So I start checking, the rotation of my neck, make sure I have complete movement, and everything felt okay. So I'm sort of going slow, but I'm just starting to okay, I can continue on. It's not that bad, but if it was bad enough, I definitely would want to stop, but. So for like a minute or so, I'm just checking to make sure I'm okay. I kind of slow down a little bit, and then I get back into a rhythm. So it definitely slowed me down a bit, though. I lost time actually crashing into the tree, and then I lost time, kind of getting going again, making sure I was okay. So if I hadn't done that, I would have probably done even better than I did. But I'm fortunate that it wasn't worse than it was. It's always awesome to walk away from a crash, no matter how big or small, if you can. So I was thankful for that. Other than that mistake, that was really the only mistake I had. I actually didn't tip the bike over at all. I didn't have any bad crashes. So as hard as I was pushing in the first lap and in the second lap after that, I made no mistakes, even amongst the carnage. I did get sort of hung up in some lapped riders and some stopped riders. I had a train of people behind me that were really wanting to move through, because we raced with the women, the pro women's, and then the schoolboy B class, and those guys and gals are really quick. So we had a lot of traffic lap 2, a lot of downed riders, and I ended up hitting them. I don't have any of that on footage just because it didn't record long enough, but it definitely wasn't without its carnage. I would say that's the worst part of GNCC is the amount of really fast riders that are going to be behind you and rushing. And that's not so much the bad part as if when you start getting into slower riders in front of you, and some people tend to freak out and make mistakes. And if they fall over, it's a whole mess. So I would say that definitely makes GNCC one of the gnarlier races, because that just doesn't happen in any other kind of racing. So with that many people on one track, it definitely is not for the weak. But it's just part of racing. You get used to it. And I felt pretty happy with my result, and happy with the day, and happy that I walked away. So I'm definitely, it's always a good day when you walk away from an event. And yeah, I had a lot of fun, stayed and watched the pros afterwards, and it was cool seeing them and being at the venue. So if you're interested in riding and racing, and if it's your first race, I would recommend doing some smaller races for sure. Kind of get into the mindset, into the fitness of a national event like that before you do that as your first race. But if you've raced plenty of races and you want to race a GNCC, I would say go for it. It's going to be a little bit different at first, but you'll settle right in. You'll either love it or you'll hate it, but at least you'll still love the event. Being able to watch the pros come around, that's always fun. And then seeing the crews out there, the factory rigs, that's always awesome. Got KTM, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, the whole crew. So that's really cool. And then obviously Moto Tees and food and pretty much everything. It's a pro event. So definitely would go check that out. And if it's near you, whether you're racing it or just there as a spectator, I would say it's an event worth going to. I'll definitely be back next year. Maybe if I have time to drive 3 hours down to, I think, Union, South Carolina is one of the last races. I might do that, but we'll see. But this definitely, I got a lot of racing ahead. Got a U.S. Sprint Enduro up and a full gas Sprint Enduro, and I'll be filming those. So hope you guys enjoyed this race, and I've got plenty of other races coming up, and possibly maybe an MX race this April. But yeah, plenty of other racing, plenty of other riding, and I'll definitely race the two-stroke. For the Sprint Enduro, I'll be racing the 2023, and for the full gas, I'll be racing the 2023 Kawasaki KX250 I have. Just because it is newer, it does make it a little bit easier, not having a kickstart if I can actually get off the line fairly quickly. So for full gas, that's a Grand Prix anyway, so that one definitely matters about getting off the start. So yeah, I'll be racing that bike. You get to see that bike some. You'll still see this bike, and then I'll probably race the Yamaha YZ250X as well. So stay tuned for all that, and obviously I'll post videos of just practice days and riding with the wife and all that. So hope you guys really enjoy this channel, and I'm not really trying to get anything out of it other than just, putting some content out there that's a little bit different than most. I think I ride so many different things and do so many different things, it makes it a little bit entertaining, hopefully. But if not, I still appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, until next time, have a good one.